All right, let's talk about solving equations. So you're looking right now kind of the process that you would use. We're going to distribute, we're going to combine like terms on each side of the equation, not across that equal sign, right? We're going to isolate constants from the variable, and then we want to make the coefficient of the variable 1 through multiplication or division. So we're going to go through two examples and see how we do with it. All right, so we have this big long equation in front of us. All right, negative 5 times the quantity 1 minus 5x equals negative 12x minus 5 times the quantity negative 8x minus 2. Whew, don't get overwhelmed. First thing we're going to look at is distribution. So as soon as I see these parentheses, I'm like, oh, hey, I got to distribute, right? Remember, distribution is multiplication all the way through, right? So I'm going to have multiply here, and I'm going to multiply here. Mind the signs, and let's go. So I have negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. And then I have negative 5 times negative 5x. Negative times negative is positive. 5 times 5 is 25. And I have the x. Okay. Equals nothing's happening to that negative 12x yet. So we're just going to rewrite it. Then I have negative 5 times negative 8x. Negative times negatives positive. 5 times 8 is 40, and keep the x. And then negative 5 times negative 2. Negative times negative again is positive. 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, cool. Now let's go on to the next part. We're looking, can I combine any like terms? So I'm on my left side. Negative 5 plus 25x. Nope, nothing to combine there. So I'm just going to leave it as is right now. And then I look on the right side. I have negative 12x and positive 40x. When I combine those, I get 28x because 40 minus 12 is 28. And then I'm left with that plus 10 on the end. Okay, cool. Now we want to isolate the constants from our variables. But right now we have constants and variables on both sides. So we're just going to start moving things around. I have more variables over here, so I'm going to zero out by subtracting, right? Because I'm adding here. So if I subtract that, it'll zero out on the left. And I'm going to put that with my x's on the other side. So those have zeroed out. I'm left with negative 5 equals 28 minus 25 is going to leave me with 3x. And I have the plus 10. We are cruising right along. Now I want my x's are on one side, so let's move those constants. So I'm going to zero out that 10 by subtracting it because I was adding 10 minus 10. That should equal 0. If it doesn't equal 0, you didn't zero it out. Make sure it's zeroing out, right? Negative 5 minus 10 is negative 15 equals my 3x. And then our final step is we want a coefficient of 1. Right now we have 3, so we're going to make it 1 by dividing by 3. Divide by 3. So I get negative 5 equals x. Doo, doo, doo. Fun times, right? Okay, let's try one more. Let's up it a little bit. Oh no, Miss Valente, this looks horrible. It looks horrible, but guys, you have the skills. Here we go. Remember, we look for distribution first. As soon as you see those parentheses, and there's a few of them here, that says distribute, and that is multiplying all the way through. Multiply everything. All right, so here we go. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. Negative 5 times 5r is negative 25r. Woohoo! Done with the first one. Okay. Negative 1/4. Oh no, Miss Valente, why did you throw fractions? Because it's good for you to practice this. All right, negative 1/4 times negative 16r. Well, I know negative and a negative is positive. Okay. And then if you're not sure, I'm saying, okay, 16 divided by 4 is 4, right? Because 16 times 1/4 is the same as saying 16 divided by 4. All right, so this is plus 4r. And then we do negative 1/4 times positive 4, so I know it's going to be negative. And again, this is 4 divided by the 4, so I'm going to be left with 1. All right, whew. There we go. Okay, just remember, this is -1/4 times 4, which is 4 over 1, which equals 4 over 4, -4 over 4, which is where I got the -1. Okay, all right. I'm going to erase that over here because I'm probably going to need the room. All right, back to working here. Okay, so on the right side, we have -3 times 3r is -9r. -3 times -2 is going to give me +6. And then we have the -6r at the end. Woo, that was a lot, but we are masters. All right, we're looking for like terms. Okay, so I have this -5 and a -1. So I have -6. And then I have -25r and +4r. That's -21r. And now I go to the other side. Remember, you only combine on the same side, not across the equal sign. All right, we have -9r and -6r is -15r. And then we have the +6. Okay, next we want to isolate constants from the variables. So let's move this -21r. We want to zero out, so it was negative, so I have to add it. And I do that to both sides to keep my balance straight. Okay, so on this side it's 0. We have -6 equals, and then -15 plus 21r is going to be +6r. And we have the +6. And now we want to move that constant over because we have our variable here. So let's zero out. Remember, it should be 0 when you put those together. If it's not 0, you're not doing it right. Okay. All right, -6 and -6 is -12 equals, we're left with 6r because that's zeroed out. Okay, hanging with me? All right, last one. We need a coefficient of 1. We're at 6, so divide by 6, divide by 6, and we get -2 equals r. Do, do, do. Things are awesome, and that is how you solve equations. All right, you got this. You're pros.